In this video, we're going to talk about the importance of expanding our knowledge through reading, researching, and keeping an open mind. Some of the ways that we can expand our knowledge include either doing formal studies or through informal reading of books. There are popular books written by reputable authors, looking at videos, blogs from reliable people, and also exploring your world and your thinking using a different lens. How can we achieve that, and why must we achieve that? We all are born into families, into an environment, into a space that molds us into who we have become today. And if we want to recraft our identity to live a fuller life, we need to first take stock of who we actually are. Only if we know who we are can we change it to whom we want us to be, without which we will just be tossing and turning like the leaves caught in a wind, going here and there and eventually getting nowhere. So, how are some of the ways we can take stock of who we are? The first way that I do it is through self reflection. This is what we call introspection, looking within. Write down, who are you? What do you think you are? What are your characteristics? What is your environment? Who are the people that influence who you are? Who are the people that have influenced who you are in the past? Who are influencing now? And the kinds of people that you look up to that could perhaps potentially influence your future. Then look at who you want to be and why do you want to be that. If you're looking at somebody, whoever they are, and say, I want to be like them because they're pretty or they're famous or they're rich, I don't believe that that will give you long lasting change from within. To be who the best of who you can be, you should be you. You need to find out who you are. You cannot be somebody else. But within that structure of who you are, you can then look at the fullness of who you can be. Just draw on who the people that can improve your who you are, and who the people you must really let go because they draw you down. As I was promoting my book, I've had this is my book, Awaken Your Greatness: Dynamic Letters of Transformation. As I've been talking about it to many people, including people in my neighborhood. It's interesting, really. The people that really know me appreciate it, and at times, and then there are people that have known my work appreciate it, but there's also those people that I have found that they criticize everything about everyone, right from the government to their families to what they sold on Facebook or whatever. They've got, you notice, as a researcher, I notice people's trends. People that moan about everything also moan about change. So you look at that and say, well, why are they doing that? And should I be influenced by these people's comments? And then you think, nah, they're not worth it. There's no point in being brought down by people who are not going to make positive change in your life. In fact, as I was talking to somebody yesterday, and she was telling me that she wanted change in her life, but yet she was caught in this structure that was holding her down. We live in a very remote place, and she doesn't feel she's got the ability to move outside of the place, and she felt that these negative people that she termed haters, were pulling her down. Then we talked about how it's okay to let go of those, as she called, haters, and move forward into a world of introspection where she can be whoever she wants to be. Unlike the past, and look, I've done my bachelor's in history, and you look at how communities were formed. There's lots of good things about former communities because people didn't just sit at home and watch TV, so they had to be communities and they had to rely on one another. But the negative thing with those is that you can be limited by the people around you. As this person was telling me, The beauty, though, in today's environment, if you are living in a community that you feel is only bringing you down, because I mean, I'm sure the people that are bringing people down don't mean it. They just know no better, so they find fulfillment in bringing others down. You've got the internet. You've got other areas. You can go to the library to expand your resources and just really have a surface level relationship with um, these haters, and then move forward with and create a community with winning people around the globe. I have found some amazing contacts from America and the UK and India and other places sitting in my remote part of New Zealand, people with an aspiration to bring out the best version of who they can be. And this is an amazing connection that can't have happened in the past. So if you are in a situation that you feel you want to be somebody else, and there are lots of limiting people, it's okay to remove yourself. Maybe you can't do it physically, probably. We live in a community, so you got to be physically present, but you don't need to go in depth with each of the people that you feel not connected to. Have a surface level, pleasant relationship, even with the haters. That's what I do. I forgive them. Whenever I get, in my position in life, I get lots of lots of acknowledgements, but I also get a lot of hate mail. And in the past, this kind of hate used to bother me, but now I just look at them and say, I forgive you. You know better. You are in a state in life where you know no better, and I hope you come to the stage in life one day where you too can bring out the best of who you can be. And even when I find it hard to forgive, I actually verbalize it, and when I do that, I can let go of, don't use my real estate for these people, and instead the real estate is freed to help people bring out the best in themselves, and the real estate in my mind is freed for more beneficial things. So that's the first stage. You can let go of surface level relationship. And secondly, read books. I mean, this is my book. I've been very hesitant to promote it, but now that it's got positive feedback and has been changing people's life, I'm quite proud of promoting. And as someone who's not a salesperson, that's hard for me, but I'm quite pleased with it. But so read books like these, or I'm reading this book called Outliers, which is quite fascinating. Read lots of books that can change your mindset, because if I'm only saying I only read the work that I've written, my mindset would be still narrow. It's only my perspective based on my research. Sure, I've been fortunate enough to go and do a doctorate, which gives me opportunities to read other peer-reviewed work. But even still, when I read those peer-reviewed works, I'm only drawing out my perspective on those peer-reviewed work. So I'm constantly learning through reading other people's work and understanding their perspectives. There are some perspectives that I may not even agree with, but I read it and I actually stand back and I think, why are they saying what they're saying? What could it be? Now, I'm not referring to hate manifestos. I'm talking about genuine works and genuine perspectives that can perhaps change my perspective. And at times I might have been here and they might have been here, but I would have come here to form middle ground. And if they're learning, they could find middle ground. So whatever you're doing in life, figure out what is the middle ground. How can you learn from others? And how can you, with a view of bettering yourself? Now, the third thing you could do is, of course, you could do formal training in whatever area you want. But, that's a luxury, especially as we get older and we get lots of responsibility. That's a luxury that's not available for many people. And I'm aware of that. So even if you can't go to university just because it's quite time consuming, I would know, having had several degrees, and even me now, like the more I do into it, while I did a minor papers in psychology many years ago, I did want to do another psychology degree, but I don't simply have the time for it. But I really want to keep myself up to date with it. So I'm doing a psychology course currently, just not because I don't understand it, but I want to be up to date with psychology and what people are saying at this point in time, because our understanding of things is evolving and we need to evolve with it. And the way we do that is to gain knowledge. Gaining knowledge is an investment. It's not a waste of money. So you could do that formal education or just do some online training to just improve yourself. And realize every morning I wake up and I'm so grateful, and I say, I'm so grateful for this opportunity that I've got to live today. What can I learn? I physically say that to myself just so that I don't get lazy. And the other way that you can change your life from where it is now to where you could be, or where you want to be, is to physically move places. But for most of us, or for a lot of us, that is not possible. So how can you take it one small step at a time? If you can't physically totally move from one place to another, can you take baby steps? Can you go on the internet, research why you want to change places physically? Is there a way for you to travel to that place, maybe to get an understanding of, is it actually the physical location that will change you, or is it something else in your old place in the world that is actually bothering you? Could you change the place that you are in now to, I mean your physical place to you are in now, to one that is desired? And how can you do that? Can you talk to like-minded people in your community to make your current physical place a better place that can enable many people to thrive? What are the areas in your life? Do the circle of life? There we're all not just made up of, we all have multiple identities, we're all not just one, and we also have different areas in our life, um, that some areas we're stronger than others. So is it fine if you might be strong in finances but weak in physical health? You might be strong in mental health, but not very good in finances. So do your circle of life. I always tell my kids, I sing the songs, the circle of life, and then look at the circle of life. Finances, physical health, mental health, ability to communicate, ability to access resources, whatever it may be. Write down, where are you, are areas that you're good at, areas that you need to work on, and how can these be linked to bring it back to middle ground, to create, all with the purpose of redesigning and recrafting the new you to the you that you want to be. And the purpose for it, in my perspective, should be one of development and growth and fulfillment for yourself, for your families, for the community, for your nation, and the world. I have found that just fulfillment just for the sake of greed, or just financial gain just for you and for selfishness, well, may give you the high for some time, but the high often comes down, and it doesn't necessarily benefit you, in my perspective, in the long run. So look for areas that you can find fulfillment, but in all areas of your life, and not just for yourself. I'm not saying put yourself last, like we all tend to do, especially in the culture I was raised in. We was raised to put ourselves last. I don't think that's quite right. You need to look after yourself. You can look after others, but the why you need to do it, whatever area in life that you are fantastic at, must be not just for your benefit but for the community and the world as well. And what is the one thing, one positive difference that you can leave behind in the world? Think about those answers, and that will all help you evolve your circle of life. We all are born, we will all die one day. I went to a shop the other day. One of the individuals I met that day had such a huge ego. I was worried the roof will come down. And then as I was walking out, someone else was saying to me, well, that individual had been like that all the time. So I thought to myself, what a shame that the individual concerned was, I felt, was quite talented in many areas, but the legacy they left behind when they do leave the world will perhaps be one of, oh, that person was quite egoistic, which would be a shame, really. So we think about, what would people say about you? Yeah, sure, the haters will hate all the time. So if the criticism is not valid, just ignore it. But if it is valid, how can you change to be a kind, thoughtful person that can go the extra mile for people whilst also bettering yourself, which would be a really good way of looking at the best version of who you can be. And you can't be perfect in the first instance. You need to work at it. Now, I am an introvert, so when it was suggested that perhaps I could do you know, the knowledge that I've collected over the years would benefit people across the globe by doing a YouTube channel, I was a bit hesitant, especially I know putting yourself in a public forum can draw in not just positivity, but also negativity from people that can't handle it. But sometimes, or most times, it's worthy of conquering your fear and going for it. Now, I know if when I look back on this videos 2 years from now, I'd probably think, well, what was I thinking? Because 2 years, fast forward 2 years, I would be better at it than I am today. But if I waited for perfection, I would never get there. So whatever it is that you want to do, don't wait for perfection until you put yourself out there. Yeah, don't just jump into the deep end, but take it one step at a time, realizing that you may not be perfect, but you are enough. Always have the purpose. Who am I and what do I want to be? What do I want to achieve? Am I recrafting myself into a version of myself that I want? Will will the new version of me be what I want my legacy to be? Will I be leaving something behind that's positive, that benefits the world, that makes this world a better place? And how would that look like? Be conscious about it every day so you can bring out the best version of whoever you want to be. Until next time, this is Dr. Jessica signing off and encouraging you to comment, like, or share. Stay true, stay blessed, and keep sparkling wherever you are.